sun-splashed afternoon here in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Game time temperature right around 46 degrees. We may scrape 50 degrees before the end of this one as the Wofford Terriers come onto the field. And yes, there are fans here at Gibbs Stadium. Capacity capped at about 25%. That equates to, a few hundred fans here. Often players' families, Wofford students allowed, some club donors and things like that from the Terrier Club. As you see, Darren Pascal, the captain for Wofford, coming out. Only one captain allowed out for the coin toss for each team. And I'm trying to get a number on that from Mercer. It looks like that's Michael Campbell, their cornerback, out there for the coin toss. Again, the Southern Conference opener for both teams. Looks like Mercer has won the toss and they will defer to the second half, so Wofford will take the football. And we will be ready to roll. Jim Noble, Tom Henson, our entire ESPN Plus crew welcoming you to spring. It just seems so weird, man. It's just, we're usually you're winding down football season when basketball season starts. And this is exactly opposite. We're all kind of in knee deep into the Southern Conference basketball season. Now football is starting up. As you get a look at Josh Conklin, 17-8, entering his third year here in Wofford. Back-to-back Southern Conference championships in his first two seasons, back-to-back for the team that won a conference championship in Mike Ayers last year here at Wofford. So, Tom, he's got a tough act to follow. And meanwhile, Drew Cronick trying to get the Mercer Bears on track after taking over for Bobby Lamb after last fall's season.
Yeah, and I think both teams, I don't think intensity is going to be lacking. I mean, Mercer got to play, they played 3 games in the fall. Wofford hadn't played in over 400 days. They're ready to go. They're ready to hit somebody. They're ready to tackle. They're ready to block. And I think this could be something cool to watch. And again, as we said in our open on both TV and radio, thrilled that these guys, these players and coaches are getting to experience this, because there were times you didn't know when the season was going to start or if it was going to even start at all.
I said Drew Cronick took over after last fall, after fall 2019,
yeah.
Of course.
I knew what you meant.
Cronick is 0-3. The Bears played 3 games in the falls, losses to Jacksonville State, Army, and Abilene Christian. A couple of those, with the exception of the Army game, were pretty close. So Caleb Dowden will kick things off for Mercer. TJ Luther is back deep for Wofford. Mercer dressed in their road white uniforms with the orange numbers. Wofford mono black.
Like it.
With the gold numbers. The field, by the way, looks absolutely fantastic. That is natural grass. Andy Kaya and his staff did such a great job. And we are underway for the spring. That's going to be a touchback out of the end zone. It'll be Wofford ball, 1st and 10. And the immediate question is, who comes out at quarterback for the Terriers? And Tom, it looks like it'll be Jimmy Wyrick.
Yeah, that's indications we got earlier was that it would be Wyrick, the 5'11 sophomore out of Pickerington, Ohio. Easier for me to say. And that is who it is. A rebuilt offensive line, but there's still some skill players that maybe didn't start last year, but certainly have some experience.
Nathan Walker and Jamari Broussard, that's Ryan Lovelace in the backfield behind Wyrick on 1st and 10 from the 25. And Wyrick on the keeper might have gone the wrong way, trying to get away from the Mercer rush, and that's going to be a tackle for loss. 1 yard loss on that is coming up to make that tackle for Mercer.
Yep, busted play.
Right off the bat, huh?
I think Jimmy turned the wrong way. And so there you go. Welcome to football in the 2020-2021
That was
school year.
Denaja Gamage making the eventual push out of bounds for Wyrick. So 2nd and 11 from the 24. This time Wyrick gives to Walker. Probing the right side, not a whole lot there. Couple of Bears combining for the tackle. Lou Robinson was one of them. Interesting story for number 32 from the safety position. He's a redshirt freshman out of that noted Mercer recruiting hotbed of Honolulu, Hawaii.
Yeah.
Number 32 came up and made the stop.
We've got good friends down in Mercer, but culture shock is going from Honolulu to Macon, or Honolulu to Spartanburg.
Or Honolulu to anywhere.
Yeah.
It's not on the mainland. So it'll be 3rd and 9 from the Wofford 26. The lone setback a fake, and Wyrick rolls out to his left. He's going to throw for the first down, and it's incomplete. Intended on the side there for Isaiah Wadsworth. And it's a punting situation. We're going to have a flag on the play here.
It's thrown in where you would expect holding. Nope.
That one just out of reach, so
Ineligible receiver downfield on Wofford.
the Bears will decline that. So into punt, Landon Parker, who's also listed as a tight end. A lot of punting background in the Parker family. His father punted for the Denver Broncos once upon a time. His brother punted for Duke, and number 23 for Wofford is back there. And deep for Mercer, Landon Miller, standing on about his own 30-yard line. Parker gets the foot into it. He's kicking into the wind, and it shows. That one knocked down, takes a Mercer hop, and Wofford will down the ball on the Mercer 48-yard line. We have got a timeout on the field. We're just underway with 13:39 to play here in Spartanburg. Mercer and Wofford are scoreless in Spartanburg. No score between Wofford and Mercer early on with 13:39 left here in the first quarter. The Bears about to go on their first offensive possession. And once again, we look in there and try to figure out which quarterback's going to come out. And it looks like, Tom, it's going to be Carter Peavy, the freshman out of Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Yeah, a little bit of a surprise there, but Mercer certainly wants to sling it down the field, and Peavy can do that.
On first down, he's going to hand off and up the middle, and met for just a very, very short gain is DeAndre Johnson.
And check it, it's Frost at quarterback.
I was going to say those numbers.
8 and 5 through us.
All right, so sorry to freak out the Harrison Frost family, but here you see DeAndre Johnson get met by the middle of the Wofford defense. The gain of about 1.5 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 7 from midfield. This time Frost is going to roll out to his left and get that ball slapped down. And a nice defensive play.
That was Rhett Russell from the outside linebacker position. If you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up in the passing lanes. And Russell did that, slapped it down with his right arm, forces a 3rd and long situation here for Mercer.
Linebackers might be the strength of this Wofford defense early on, with some experience coming back with John Beckley, Joe Beckett, Jara Wilson, D.T. Wilson, both mainstays graduated. 3rd down and about 8 for the Bears from midfield. Frost in the shotgun. He'll drop back and look left. Gets it slapped out of his hand. Ball's on the field. Who's got it? And it looks like no preliminary signal yet. Wofford players are saying they have it. They're still saying they have it. And they do, although no official announcement yet. Now hold everything. Brandon Brown was at the bottom of that pile. I still haven't seen an official announcement. Tom, have you?
I have not.
Well,
I can tell you who slapped it out of there, though, and that was Michael Mason, who had an incredible 2019 fall. And it is Wofford football.
Well, we never got a signal from this officiating crew, but it'll be 1st and 10 Wofford.
So Mason forces the fumble, Brown recovers it, and the Terriers are in great position.
Here's another look. Mason coming for the right side, number 99. And Brandon Brown, 33, was on the bottom of that pile and got the football. So 1st and 10 Terriers from the Mercer 38 after the first turnover of this ball game. Wyrick is in the shotgun. He drops back to pass. Complete. Short gain to the left. Out to about the 33-yard line, and coming at the bottom of that pile is Keandre Sanders for Wofford.
Yeah, Sanders, sophomore, 5'8", out of Birmingham.
Started a couple of years. There's a couple of games last year. Wofford had 2 senior wide receivers that didn't catch the ball a whole lot. They've got T.J. Luther, who most teams try to take away from them. In fact, he's lined up wide right as Terriers go 3 wide receivers on first down. Wyrick on the option. He's got Lovelace with him. He'll keep it. Tripped up as he gets near the 30-yard line. Still a good gain on 2nd down. of about 4, so it'll bring up 3rd and short, 3rd and a long 2.
And that's what this offense, every offense wants to be in. 3rd and less than 3 is an ideal situation, particularly where you are on this spot on the field.
Wofford's second possession, first one ended in a 3 and out. Looked a little bit like spring football, looking a lot more cohesive on this one. 3rd down, 2 to go. Ball's on the right hash. Wyrick will hand that one off to Nathan Walker. He plows forward, gets very close, and I think he may have gotten the first down. In fact, he did. So a tough, bruising run by the junior from Ridgeville, South Carolina, who burst upon the scene as a freshman here, but had to kind of bide his time and wait for his time to be the man.
That was a good leg drive right there by Nathan Walker to get that first down. And now the Terriers, a little momentum, picking up the first down after the turnover, driving here.
1st and 10, Wofford from the Mercer 27. No score here in the first quarter. Wyrick with running backs on either side. Will hand off, and it's right side, and that's Mulligan. Irvin Mulligan bursts off right tackle, and he's got another first down, and the Terriers are in the red zone.
Right side of the offensive line doing a nice job. Chad Gardner, Quayshawn Greenlee opening up a hole. Irvin Mulligan's a guy we saw bits and pieces of in 2019. Played the minimum 4 games, battled some injuries, but I remember seeing some things thinking, hey, this guy can do some stuff, and he showed it right there.
He had 106 yards against Western Carolina in a game that Wofford had 3 running backs for more than 100 yards against the Catamounts way back in 2019. 1st and 10 from the 11. This time it's Lovelace who makes one cut, gets north and south, and gets down to the 5-yard line, gain of 6. Wofford could just roll these running backs at you in droves, and Lovelace, a senior who it seems like he's been here for about 8 years, but he really gives a lot of leadership to that backfield.
Yeah, and a nice move there, as you said, one cut and then got going north and south, and Wofford can pick up a first down without scoring a touchdown.
2nd down and 4 from the 5. Jimmy Wyrick has led this drive, trying to fill the shoes of departed Southern Conference Player of the Year from 2019, Joe Newman. Wyrick gets the shotgun snap. Another handoff to Mulligan, and he is in the end zone. And the Terriers are on the board for the first time in 2021.
And to do it with both ends helping. The defense forces a turnover. The offense takes advantage of the short field. They run behind that offensive line that's new but looked good on that series as a good second possession for the Wofford Terriers.
On to add the extra point is Dawson Hennis. He has a tough act to follow. His predecessor, Luke Carter, never missed a PAT in college. Hennis on, and that one is good. A low liner did the job out of the hold of Landon Parker. And we've got a timeout here in Spartanburg. 9:53 to go in quarter number 1. Wofford leading Mercer 7-zip. And welcome back to Gibbs Stadium. Not a bad start at all for the Wofford Terriers. They force a turnover on defense, and then you see it right there, Michael Mason with Rhett Russell knocks down a pass, then Michael Mason strips Harrison Frost, Brandon Brown with the recovery, and Irvin Mulligan caps it off with a 5-yard plunge. The Terriers are up 7-0, just like you draw it up over the last 440 days of practice, right?
Yeah, still football. Just got to figure out a way. As you see the back of Irvin Mulligan there, redshirt freshman out of Beaufort, Whale Branch High School.
Dawson Hennis is going to boot it into that stiff wind blowing left to right and coming up to catch it on the run at the 20, and a nice run back out past the 30. It was Michael Campbell. Excuse me, DeAndre Johnson.
Brandon Brown on the tackle for Wofford.
You know, it's funny that when Brandon Brown got the promotion to linebacker, I was like, wow, he's been a special teams ace. Wonder if they're going to have him stay on special teams. And they have indeed. And you can't afford to take too many guys off special teams when they become full-time starters because they're so good at what they do and they've done it so long.
Well, and special teams are so important. You start giving up long kick returns, long punt returns, it makes things hard on your defense.
Looks like Carter Peavy's in there at quarterback, number 15, as he's going to get a shot now, and they'll give it into the middle of the line, and not much there at all. The middle of the Wofford defense led by Elijah Ball, Tanner Barnes combining on that stop.
That is PVM, but you're right. The defensive line there for Wofford doing a nice job holding their ground, only give up about 1.5 yards on that carry.
So Drew Cronick with the quick hook on Harrison Frost after the turnover, but remains to be seen if we'll see Frost in there again. Now all of a sudden, Peavy sneaks up under center. A little different look from the Bears. If they were trying to get Wofford to jump, there's still plenty of time on the play clock. 13, 12, and now they'll didn't see what they needed to see, so now they'll re-up and get underneath the ball. Peavy under center, man in motion, and takes the handoff. That is a slash off the left by Brandon Marshall, and not much room again. Crashing down from that defensive end position was Mason. Rhett Russell got in there as well, and Jay Hazel came up. And Jaheim Hazel, interesting guy, started as a corner, as a freshman, a true freshman, a number of games. Now he moves to safety. Now Miles Richardson moves to safety, and a lot of youth at the corner position, although they've got one veteran there, Darren Pascal, who's sort of the quarterback of that secondary for Wofford.
Brandon Brown also got in there as well, doing a nice job for the Terriers.
Clock ticking with 8:25 to go, and a 3rd and 7 for Mercer. Peavy back to pass. Nobody there. I think he thought that the receiver, Deerham, was going to curl back and run to the pylon. Instead, Deerham kept going, and it's a 3 and out for Mercer. So 2 possessions, 1 turnover, or 1 3 and out for the Bears as the Wofford defense does its job again.
Yeah, just miscommunication there between the quarterback and the wide receiver. Not on the same page, not doing what they are supposed to do, and Mercer looks like they'll kick it away.
Grant Goupel is the punter, standing on his own 23-yard line. Demorie Van Cleve, he can scoot for Wofford. He's back on the 18. That one with the win. Van Cleve is going to call for a fair catch and snag it on the 17-yard line of Wofford. So the Terriers will come out for their 3rd possession. Wofford will have the ball in this 7-0 lead here with 8:11 left in the first quarter. Again, Southern Conference teams set to play an 8-game spring schedule. They'll crown a champion. They'll get an auto bid to the FCS playoffs.
Which we might add are only 16 this year instead of 24.
Correct. So getting off to a good start in conference play is paramount, as Wofford will send Jimmy Wyrick back out there. 1st and 10 from their 17. Wyrick in the gun. Wofford will run out of the gun almost all the time. And that's a handoff up the middle. Lovelace is hit and spun around at the 20-yard line. Short gain of about maybe 1.
Yeah, about 1 yard. Not much more than that. The right side of that defensive line for Mercer did a good job of standing Wofford's offensive lineman up, staying right there with him.
Wofford has 5 new starters on the offensive line. They were all backups last year. Zach Kurz, Elliott Campbell, Al Hogan, Chad Gardner, and Quashawn Greenlee on 2nd and 9 from their 20. All of these guys played a lot. Were just kind of stuck behind some very, very good offensive linemen. Wyrick gives up the middle again, and a nice job by the Bear defense again as they throw Lovelace backwards.
You talk about Wofford rebuilding the offensive line. 2 of the guys graduate transferred to FBS teams. You got Blake Gerasati at Illinois, Josh Berger at Texas Tech.
Bears are really bringing up the safeties, almost daring Wofford to throw it, and that's something that Josh Conklin and Wade Lang have talked about, the need and the ability to throw the ball when they need to and not just run the option time and time again. Wyrick is back to pass on 3rd down, looking left, and that is complete. And a nice grab out there by Sanders, who looked like he juggled it for a moment, but held on for the 1st down.
Yeah, and I think Sanders is upset because if he keeps his feet, he's got some green grass in front of him, and he's one of those guys Josh Conklin talks about. Get him the ball in space, and if you can't get him to the ground, watch what he's going to be able to do. Yeah, just couldn't keep his footing. And if he makes that guy miss, he may go all the way.
Gain of 13 on the hookup. Wofford 1st and 10 from their own 33. 6:35 clock running here in this first quarter. Wofford with a 7-0 lead. Well, the fullback plunge up the middle hasn't fooled Mercer too much. That's going to be a short gain, maybe a yard and a half.
That was Jamari Broussard, sophomore out of Jacksonville.
5'11", 204. Again, saw some time last year. Wofford's had such great running backs over the years. Andre Stoddard, Lennox McAfee, Blake Morgan, who graduated last year, and now the next wave getting their chance. That's Van Cleve in motion on second down and a sweep to the left. Stutter step and not much room at all for Lovelace. Alvin Ward was there for Mercer.
Also, Luke Ward was there. They did a nice job establishing the end. They didn't allow Wofford to get outside at all. They established that in line on the perimeter and force it back into the middle of the field.
Denija Gamage came up in the linebacker position. Mercer runs a 4-3 most of the time. That's a change from last year when they ran a 3-4 under Bobby Lamb and company. They've got that bandit position, kind of a hybrid safety and linebacker that's so good against the run. Wyrick under pressure, finds a crease and tries to get out of it, cannot get to the marker. He will be about a yard short out to the 42-yard line.
And decision time here early in the season, early in this game.
I think you set the tone for the season. You're at midfield. You got a 7-0 lead. I think Wofford's going to go for this. The Terriers were very, very effective on fourth down last year, as you see Jimmy Wyrick get out of trouble here.
Did a nice job. Got his head down, got what he could, and puts himself and his team in a position to pick up this fourth down.
It's a tick over a yard, but we'll call it 4th and 1 from the 42. Nathan Walker behind Wyrick, who jumps up.
And the offensive line jump.
Yeah, Wyrick was trying to sneak up there and snap it quick. And the Wofford offensive line just was not all on the same page. So that may change things here after the ensuing 5-yard penalty.
I think it will. I think you'll punt it now.
In fact, the punt team is gathered over by the near sideline, as it is a legal procedure against Wofford.
Left side of the line, I didn't see the number, but they fired out of there a couple different guys.
Wofford had brought in their jumbo package, and there you see the movement.
It was Zach Kurz. Sorry, Zach. When they show the
Zach,
replay,
I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah, when they show the replay and it's that easy for me to spot, I gotta say it.
So Landon Parker back to kick. Miller from Mercer is going to watch this one hit and roll. Takes a nice Wofford Terrier bounce. It'll fall dead just shy of the 20-yard line. That's where the Bears will take over with 4:17 left to go in this first quarter. Glad you're with us here from Spartanburg. Wofford leads Mercer 7-0. Southern Conference football is back, and Wofford leads Mercer 7-0 here at Gibbs Stadium with 4 minutes and 17 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Jim Noble, Tom Henson, so happy to be doing football again, and so happy to see fans and cheerleaders, and above all the players who have really, really suffered through this whole pandemic, being able to go out there and show what they can do. Peavy stays in for the Bears, and incomplete, looking for DeAndre Johnson out in the left flat. Harrison Frost played the first series for Mercer, turned the ball over on a strip sack, and then Peavy's come in for the last 2 series, and looks like he threw a good ball there that Johnson just couldn't hang on to.
Puts him behind the sticks a little bit here, 2nd and 10.
Wofford scored after a turnover on their second drive, as giving it up the middle is Peavy, and a nice little push by the Mercer offensive line. That's Johnson again. Johnson will do a little bit of everything. He lines up in the position that they call joker, which means he rushes, he's a receiver, he's also a kickoff returner. Sophomore, 5'7", 175 from Reedsville, Georgia. You wonder how a guy that little can run between the tackles. They really miss Tyree Devison, of course, who is in the transfer portal after being their leading rusher the past couple of years, who did play in the fall but opted not to play for the Bears in the spring. It's 3rd down and a long 4. Peavy rolls out to his left. Got a man, and that's complete for a first down to Johnson, out across the 30 to the 33-yard line, and a gain of 7.
First down for the Bears, and that was a well-designed play, executed well by Peavy as he got in a little bit of trouble. He had some pressure on him, and but was able to avoid it and get the throw away.
Yeah, Brandon Brown was in there trying to flush him out of the pocket. Miles Richardson made the tackle for Wofford, but not before the Bears got, as you said, Tom, their first down. So it's 1st and 10 from their own 33. Peavy in the shotgun, man in motion. And a give to the left and plenty of running room up the left sideline and another first down. Like Wofford did not see
Nikendrick Clark
at all.
He's the transfer from Appalachian State.
Graduate transfer. And watch, they all went left and he went right.
They
through the Wofford defense.
Yeah, they sealed the edge really well there on the left side.
Finally, Tahir Anor was able to push him out of bounds, but not before a gain of 14. 1st and 10. Bears from the 46-yard line. Mercer getting a little bit of a rhythm offensively. Johnson in motion. He takes it on the reverse, and that's another good gainer on first down. Out for about 7.
Pascal with the tackle from his corner position, but you're right, now they're starting to get some chunk plays here. Which if they get into this thing where they're 2nd and 4, you have to watch out for them going over the top.
And again, momentum and cohesiveness, such a hard thing to gauge right now, even for a team that played 3 games in the fall like Mercer. And especially for a team that did not play, Wofford. Little pitch around, end around, and that is going to be stuffed. That is T.J. Neal with the stop.
Talk about staying at home. That's what you have to do. You start letting your eyes wander and don't play assignment football, that can be a big play. But T.J. Neal, solid assignment football, stayed where he was supposed to stay and made a great play in the open field.
Ethan Durham took the pitch and had nowhere to go. So all of a sudden, instead of 2nd and short, you got 3rd and we'll call it 5. Ball just in Terrier territory. Say that 5 times fast.
That is tough. You got to just always say Wofford territory.
On the Wofford 49. Peavy under center. Again, man in motion. This time we've got a whistle.
I think Wofford used a timeout.
Yep, they did indeed. So the first timeout burned by either team comes with 1:13 left in quarter number 1. So the Terriers will come over and talk about it. I don't know whether it was something they saw or just the wrong personnel on the field for Wofford.
I think Mercer, when they shifted, it got into something that maybe Wofford wasn't familiar with, and you know, don't give them a chance to get a cheap first down here. Call the timeout, get some things figured out, get your alignment correct, and see if you can stop them here on 3rd and 5.
By comparison to the Wofford offense, the defense is a bunch of grizzled veterans. They returned 5 starters, but we talked about how thin the defensive line is, lost some players to graduation, a couple of opt-outs, and then moving some personnel around in the secondary. Garen Pascal and Donovan Anderson are seniors at the corners, but Miles Richardson and Tahir Anor, Jay Hazel, Isaiah Walker, they're relatively young at the safety position. And then up front, you've got some great talent. Tanner Barnes was a real revelation, along with Michael Mason. They were both all Southern Conference freshmen last year. They both have put on a ton of weight, too. Yeah. Tanner Barnes up to 250, Michael Mason up to 255. Both of them at least 25 or 30 pounds heavier than they were their freshman year. If they're going to play every down on the D-line, they've got to get a little, what do they call that? A little more room between their pockets.
That's right. Something I've never had trouble with.
Well, you got plenty of room between the pockets in this booth. I can attest to that. All right, 3rd down for Mercer. 3rd and 5, just over midfield into Wofford territory. Peavy has a back to his right and 3 wide receivers to his left. Man in motion, the tight end. And Peavy's back to pass, looking to his left, now flushed out to his right. Being run down from behind. Can he get rid of the ball? He does. Long pass, and that is going to be caught. Great catch downfield by Ethan Durham, and a long gainer for the Bears. Down to the 20-yard line. That is a gain of 31.
That was all Peavy buying time right there. I mean, Wofford got good pressure on him, flushed him out of the pocket. Rolling to his right, throwing it the right-hander, just put it up for grabs.
What a catch, too.
Yeah, Durham came down with it.
Durham had Darren Pascal draped all over him.
Yeah, it was great coverage. Durham, you look at him, he's a big kid, 6'3", 210, only a freshman out of Canton, Georgia.
Carter Peavy, the freshman quarterback, has the Bears moving here as we near the end of the first quarter. 7-0 Wofford, Peavy under center. He'll roll out, looking to throw again. No time, flag flies as he's almost brought down and then just throws it away. On the right sideline, looks like a hold is the preliminary indication.
I hope I'm right. I saw a hole. We'll see if they called it.
They're checking with the Wofford sideline, so indeed it is holding. Wofford will certainly accept this penalty and move the Bears back. Didn't see who they got, but a couple of Terriers were free and clear into the backfield on Carter Peavy.
Yeah, could have gotten a couple of different guys there, but from the looks of things, it might have been Santo DeFranco, redshirt sophomore.
Good pressure by Joe Beckett, too, forcing Peavy out of the pocket. We've got 1st and 20.
Low snap.
Yeah, Peavy did a nice job handling that, and does all he can do to get about 3 yards off the busted play.
Yeah, that snap, that just totally discombobulated the play there. You get out of rhythm. People are not where they're supposed to be because of that snap, and give Wofford credit for not letting the busted play get even worse. As that should do it for the first quarter.
Clock is ticking and has reached the end of the first quarter. I think the guys on the field might realize it in a moment. There they go.
It took them a while.
Hey, it's the spring opener for everybody. And I mean everybody. So we'll take a timeout as well at the end of quarter number 1. Wofford is off to a 7-0 lead over the Mercer Bears in the Southern Conference spring opener for both teams here in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Wofford has the lead as we enter the second quarter. The Terriers lead the Mercer Bears 7-0, but the Bears are marching. They've got the ball in Wofford territory at the 25-yard line. Second down and 17 as Carter Peavy has come on in relief of Harrison Frost and led the last couple of drives for the Bears. He's in the shotgun, dragged a pass. Lofty one to the right corner of the end zone, and that is going to be incomplete. Looking for Deerham.
Good coverage over there by Donovan Anderson. Anderson, sophomore, just up the road in Boiling Springs is his hometown. Stayed with him the whole way.
You know, you get the ball up there in the air, and even though this field is sunken below ground level, kind of when you go to that end of the field, you know that wind is playing tricks with that football.
It's pushing it away from the field. Exactly right, Jim.
Third down. Long way for Mercer to go for the first down. Peavy's back to pass. He's got pressure for the backside. Mason makes the hit. A ball is loose again. Second time, Michael Mason to strip the ball away, and I think Mercer fell on this one.
I think they ruled it incomplete.
Ball might have been, or arm might have been going forward, but either way, Michael Mason.
They can't block him, can they?
Wreaking havoc on the Mercer offensive line.
Yeah, wow, what a fast move. Yeah, I'll say the ball was going forward. That's a good call by the officials. Incomplete pass, but that's the second time today Michael Mason's gotten his hand on a football and making something happen.
So we've got a 43-yard field goal attempt upcoming from Caleb Dowden. Again, he's kicking against the wind, and I wonder if Mercer's not going to think about this one a little bit. It's a swirling wind. It's blowing right in the face of the kicker. 42 yards isn't exactly a chip shot either. And I wonder if the problem is you've got 4th and 17. If it were something like 4th and 5, it would be a much easier call. You get another look at the strip sack by Mason.
You'll need to refresh my memory here. Does FCS have review?
We do have review. They might be looking at this to see if that arm indeed was going forward.
I think that's exactly what's happening. I think maybe Josh Conklin asked them to take a look at this, or maybe even Wofford used a timeout to get them to take a look at it. And, you know, why not? You know, it can be a momentum-changing play here.
In fact, that's a good point. And here's another look at it. That's awfully close.
A fumble.
That's closer than I thought from the previous angle. And that's what they're looking at. You brought up a good point.
That ball right there.
Yeah, he hasn't started moving.
The hand is empty. That's a fumble, and I think Beckley recovered it for Wofford.
You know, you talked about review. Ironically, last fall was supposed to be the first year that every Southern Conference school was required to have instant replay active in the stadiums. And Wofford had it here for a couple of years, but we never got a chance to test that system out because not everybody played in the fall. So this is really the first year or first season that every SoCon school has an active instant replay booth going, and we may see it make a very difficult call right here. Or is it that difficult to
It
call?
did look that difficult from the, and what great camera work by our guys down there on that end zone shot toward the scoreboard. It certainly looked like there was an empty hand coming through.
Michael Mason's a sophomore from Effingham, South Carolina. He had 7 sacks last year. Preseason All-SoCon first team entering this season as a sophomore. He had 10.5 tackle for losses, and he's just explosive around that corner.
You know, when they take this long to look at it, it typically means that they're trying to make sure, was there a recovery? Where is the ball? How much time is on the clock? All of those things. If it's just an incomplete pass as they rolled it on the field, you don't have to write all this stuff down.
Looks like the Wofford offense is ready to go out there. Well, I mean, kind of looks like a commingling of offense defense out there right now.
I'm signaling to the people in the press box it's a first down Wofford. We'll see if I'm right. Halftime score from Cullowhee in basketball. Brace yourself, Mr. Noble. Wofford 50, Western Carolina 27.
Wow. They may never let us go to another game again.
We may have just been excommunicated.
Terriers, of course, second in the SoCon in basketball. It's kind of, this is just a wild time of year with football and basketball going on at the same time, and then all the other fall and spring sports. Here's the announcement. Well, I think the referees might cut out. First down Wofford. So there you have it. Michael Mason
get another one
his
for you.
Second turnover, and I think you said John Beckley is the Terrier that fell on it. So there's, look at big number 99 getting some congratulations as he heads to the sideline. We need to document that Wofford's kind of thrown together this defensive staff after 2 staffers left for the NFL in the last couple of weeks. Sam Siefkas, the defensive coordinator, went to the Vikings. Defensive line coach Alan Miller went to the Alan Smith went to the Texans, and Josh Conklin has brought a couple of new coaches in that have been here about a week, and so far so good on the defense. First attempt for the Terriers. Wyrick is back to pass, going deep over the middle, and a little bit too long. He was looking for Demarie Van Cleve.
Good coverage out there.
That one, you get that ball up in the wind.
Yeah, it can take it away a little bit. Well thrown ball. Just I think the wind might have pushed it a little bit out of Van Cleve's reach.
Richie Coffey, the bandit, or Mercer on the coverage there. So it'll be 2nd and 10 Terriers from their own 27.
Have a first half Michael Mason. 2 forced fumbles. Wow.
It seems like we played a bunch in the second quarter. We played exactly 17 seconds with all the reviews. And this time it's Lovelace being thrown back by the defense. Ball comes out, but I think that's going to be down by contact.
Yeah, Alvin Ward Jr., graduate transfer out of Georgia Southern, was right there on the spot for that one.
Lovelace and Nathan Walker kind of, after that play, got together, and I don't know if everybody was on the same page. Walker, although listed at running back, Wofford doesn't list a true fullback like they used to do back in the Mike Ayers, wishbone days, flexbone days, but Walker is basically a fullback, although he's got great speed and can run on the outside as well.
Terriers now facing 3rd and long after the turnover.
3rd and 12 to be exact. From their own 25, Wyrick back to pass. Quick throw to the left, kind of a back shoulder throw, and that is broken up. That one looked good for a moment.
Yeah, TJ Luther.
For Luther. That'll bring up a kicking situation for Wofford.
Not sure if a Mercer guy got his hand in there, but that looked like it. I thought the same thing. It looked pretty well thrown.
Yep, getting his hand in there, making a nice defensive play was Michael Campbell.
Yeah, junior out of Darien, Georgia. Timed it perfectly. If he doesn't get his hand in there, that's a completion.
Landon Parker is back to punt for the 2nd time, this time punting with the wind, standing at his own 10-yard line. Landon Miller back for the Bears on his own 35. That one's up, a low liner right at Miller. He'll have a chance to run this back from the 31. And nice special teams coverage by Wofford.
Yeah, Tahir Anur, nice job getting downfield, taking the legs out from under him.
So after Wofford scored after their first turnover gained, couldn't do anything with this other one. And it's still a 7-0 ball game here as we've just gotten underway. I do think we started the second quarter 20 minutes ago. We've only played about a minute because we've had reviews, we've had turnovers, we've had the break in between quarters, but it'll be 1st and 10 Mercer from the 39. Peavy stays in the quarterback. Man in motion and taking the pitch is Johnson. And coming up and setting the edge and making the tackle. How about that play by Joe Beckett?
Terriers doing a nice job watching Michael Mason on that. They got a little double team on him right there, and that's probably a smart thing.
Say Beckett and Beckley, both combined. I'm going to do that all season long. You've got Joe Beckett wears 45, John Beckley wears 46, and they are built exactly the same. So a loss of 1, 2nd and 11. Peavy this time rolls to his left. He's got pressure, escapes that pressure, but he's just going to throw that away.
Yeah, Tanner Barnes was in his face from the beginning.
Barnes, a sophomore from Simpsonville, South Carolina. That's right down the road from here.
Yeah, played at Hillcrest High School, and just a little boot's what they tried to run out of that. And again, fundamentally sound this early are the Wofford Terriers. Hey, give Rob Green credit. This is his first game as defensive coordinator, just promoted there 10 to 14 days ago. Has his defense playing pretty well through a quarter and a little bit more than that.
3 sophomores starting across the 3 defensive line positions for Wofford. 3rd down. Peavy is going to roll to his right this time. See if he's got some room out there. He's going to have to pull that ball down and run out of bounds. And Mercer will be forced to punt as applying the pressure was Logan Barnes. He's a backup linebacker from Dawsonville, Georgia. So we got Tanner Barnes and Logan Barnes making impacts on back-to-back plays for the Terriers.
What a great job by Wofford downfield, the coverage. There was nowhere for Peavy to try to throw that ball.
And that's the question for the Terriers is you know, can the young guys who move to safety, can they mesh with the seniors at corner? Punting situation for Grant Goupel, standing on his 25. Gamoria Van Cleve, that's a short punt. Not a good one either. Wofford just got to get away from that ball and let it die, and it will just inside the 30. So the Terriers will have decent field position when we come back. They've also got a 7-0 lead by virtue of an Irvin Mulligan 5-yard touchdown romp in the first quarter. It'll be stopped anybody from celebrating the return of FCS football here in the spring. Wofford leading Mercer 7-0 as the Terriers snap at 1st and 10. And Mulligan rushes on the left side. He's got some daylight across the 40 out to the 45-yard line. A gain of 17 for Irwin Mulligan.
Tell you what, he's having a half, isn't he? Scored a touchdown earlier, and again, off that left side, just a little bit of a stretch play there. Made a couple of guys miss, and that's the key for Irvin, getting into that 2nd and 3rd wave of defenders.
Finally, Ken Stanley made the tackle. Otherwise, Mulligan would still be running, and Wofford's got it down off to the 45, their own 45, 1st and 10. Jimmy Wyrick has gone the whole way at quarterback. He throws quick to the left, and it's complete. That'll be a 1st down to TJ Luther, gain of 11 if he spun out of bounds just in front of the Mercer bench. Once again, it was Stanley getting over there to make the stop. I think Wyrick's looked pretty solid in his debut as a starting quarterback thus far.
Calm, steady. Made the first mistake on the first snap, went the wrong way, but after that, he's been a pretty steady ball player.
Hey, if you're going to get it out of the way, get it out of the way of the first play of the season, right?
That's right.
1st to 10 Wofford from the Mercer 44. Wyrick will throw again. Looking in the same area. It's complete again. That one a shorter gain, about 4 to TJ Luther. TJ Luther is maybe the best physical talent at wide receiver Wofford's ever had. Junior from Arcadia, Florida. 19 catches for 447 yards and 3 touchdowns last year in an offense that still does not feature the pass exclusively. So he will go ahead and line up now to the left on 2nd down and 6. This This time it's a give up the middle and nothing there at all. Wow, what a surge by the Mercer defense, making the initial hit.
Broussard.
Wow, Denija Gamage. He was the first guy to get there, and he had some friends as well.
Yeah, he made the initial lick and then got some help from his buddies. Gamage,
A loss of 3.
redshirt junior out of Brunswick, Georgia.
Clock ticking, 10:15 to go here in the second quarter. Wofford with the ball with a 7-point lead. Luther is to the left side of the formation. Sanders to the right. Wyrick back to throw. Looking deep. That one's going to be complete. Sanders on a crossing route. Oh, he gets belted as he goes out of bounds.
What a throw that time by Jimmy Wyrick, and great protection by his offensive line. Gave him a pocket to throw out of, and Wyrick just steps into that thing and a ball on a rope.
Watch this hit he took right at the end. He got lit up. Gain of 28 for the Terriers. Lance Wise applied that hit, but Wofford is in the red zone for the second time in this first half.
Biggest pass play of the season.
Well, the season hasn't been all that long, if you think
that's
about it. Give left side. Boy, Wofford's had a hard time running in the interior against Mercer. When they can get the ball out in space, they've done much better.
Yeah, Mulligan nowhere to go, and again, it was Gamage.
That's a loss of 2.
Jordan Swain also there. 2 guys from Brunswick, Georgia. You know, if you're Mercer, recruit the state of Georgia. There's enough talent there, particularly at the FCS level, to put together a pretty good football team. And I think there's only 2 FCS teams in the entire state with Mercer and Kennesaw State.
Yeah, once Georgia Southern made the move to FBS, I think you're absolutely right. So it's going to be second down and about 12. And more interior damage being done by the Mercer defense. This time it's Richie Coffey making the stop, and that'll bring up 3rd and long.
Yeah, Terriers not taking advantage of this good field position on that long pass play to Sanders. Need to get something going here on 3rd and long, 11, short 12.
Nathan Walker is in at running back. Garrison Hurst comes in at tight end. As this Wofford drive is stalled momentarily here in the red zone. Ryrick will send Moore in motion. He stops on the right side of the formation. An option that way to Walker. Walker gets a block, turns the corner, 10, and he'll be knocked down on about the 8-yard line. He'll be about 3 yards short of the first down. But a good gainer, and it looks like Wofford will bring out the field goal team. Nice block on the edge by Moore, but I think the corner came up. Corner kind of slipped Sanders there and was able to make the stop. So Dawson Hennis, this will be a 25-yarder from the right hash. Landon Parker is the holder. Colin Springer, the long snapper. Kick is up, and it is good. So Dawson Hennis is perfect for the afternoon with 1 PAT and a 25-yard field goal. And Wofford has jumped out to a 10-0 lead over Mercer. We'll get you back to Spartanburg, South Carolina right after this. Drew Chronic and the Mercer Bears trying to dig out of a 10-0 hole that the Wofford Terriers have put them in the SoCon opener for both teams here in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Chronic, of course, came over last summer from Lenore Rhine, where he was 47-6 with that Division II program. 0-3 with Mercer. Of course, the 3 games the Bears played in the fall against Abilene Christian, Army, and Jacksonville State count towards all the records. So is technically 47-9 overall as Dawson Hennis puts the toe to leather, and it winds up in the end zone for a touchback. So it'll be Mercer's ball out on the 25-yard line.
You know, all things considered here with the Wofford up 10-0. What a good start for this team. Taking advantage of a Mercer turnover in the first quarter to score. Michael Mason has had 2 enormous plays with forced fumbles.
Yeah, keep an eye on big number 99. You see him there on the right side of the Wofford defensive line. He's got 2 strip sacks, Tanner Barnes coming over from what technically is the left defensive end position. Is that a big game as well? And Mercer's hit one big play so far on Wofford, but haven't been able to get anything consistent going. And a fumbled handoff that bounced right back into the running back's arms. That was nearly disastrous, but Al Wooten made a nice play to gather that one back in and actually get a short gain out of it.
Yeah, somehow they got 2-3 yards out of that. That could have been disastrous. So many times here when that ball hits the ground like that, you kick it. And or the opposition kicks it, and it just starts going crazy.
Actually, it looked like Wooten kind of caught it on his knee pad right before it got down there.
I think you're right.
Got 3 yards out of it, so it's 2nd and 7 Bears from the 28-yard line. Clock continues to run with 6:50 left in the half, and this time it's Wooten the other side. And how about that shoestring tackle? Coming up from the corner position and making the play is Donovan Anderson, the senior.
You know, and what you love to see there, Donovan Anderson comes up, run support, great tackle, lost his shoe. He didn't throw the shoe. He left the shoe on the ground. See, he's got the shoe.
Because honestly, who throws a shoe?
Only Gators.
And I wasn't trying to be funny when I said shoestring tackle. I hadn't noticed that he lost his shoe.
It literally was.
All right. So let's see what Carter Peavy can do with this 3rd and 5 situation. Shift to the right by the entire offensive line. Motion back to the left. Peavy rolls out. He's got pressure from Mason again, and he's just got to throw it into the ground as his primary outlet, DeAndre Johnson, was triple covered by the Wofford defense.
They tried to send everything to the left, sneak Johnson back out to the right, and Wofford had 3 guys over there, including Michael Mason staying at home. A couple of defensive backs stayed at home. Great job by the Terriers on that 3rd down play. Well-executed play can be a 1st down, but the defense, has the opportunity to execute as well, and they did it. Great job on that play.
So Grant Goupel will punt. DeMaurier Van Cleve back for Wofford. DeMaurier Van Cleve has 11 career touchdowns, 1 as a punt returner. It came last year. Goupel under a little bit of pressure gets it off, and this should be returnable. Nope, Van Cleve is going to let it hit, and it takes a Wofford bounce and then kind of rolls around down to about the 30-yard line. It'll be Terrier football from that point. You love to see Van Cleve back there. He can do so many things. A former Mr. Kentucky football out of Danville, Kentucky, that wasn't recruited by the big schools. And Wofford said, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
We'll take him here in Spartanburg. And like I said, 6 rushing touchdowns over the last couple of years, 4 receiving touchdowns, 1 punt return touchdown, and you kind of feel like he's a big play waiting to happen every time he touches the ball.
When he gets it in his hands, you hold your breath because something really exciting could happen. And you're right. I think there's some schools that said, he's just too small. You can't measure the fight of a kid just by looking at him.
Let's see if this young Wofford offensive line can get an interior running game going. They showed some flashes, but as soon as I say that, we got a false start.
TJ Luther was ready to get going on that play. Came out of the blocks a little early.
So that'll back Wofford up 5, back to the 25-yard line. Take a look at Luther at the top of your screen. Yeah, he was
gone.
The funny thing is, then he stopped 2 yards downfield and got back into his stance.
See if anybody noticed.
Nobody saw me. All right, Wyrick's got Walker on one side. This time the give is around the right side. I'm trying to see if that's Lovelace or not. It is. Lovelace gets about 4. Well, maybe we'll give him 5. Back to the original line of scrimmage, so it'll be 2nd and 10. Ryan Lovelace, remember when he burned his freshman year with 2 carries in a playoff game at North Dakota State?
They were so thin at running back in
2017, I want to say.
Correct. That was back before you could play the 4 games and still maintain your redshirt year.
Yep. He's a senior now. Of course, this spring season doesn't really count against eligibility. It's kind of a freebie. Some guys will come back in the fall. Some guys won't, we'll have to say. And there's a sweep to the right side and taking a big hit, but Van Cleve falls forward. The 32-yard line, actually a little bit further than that. 37, I'm 5 yards off. Again, it's spring football for everybody.
Right, we're still in basketball modes to a certain extent.
That'll bring up a 3rd and a 3 for the Terriers. Clock runs with 5:10 left in this first half. Wofford leading Mercer 10-0.
Terriers 3 for 7 on 3rd downs today.
They've got a huge advantage in time of possession, I've got to think. after a couple of the turnovers and a couple of long drives. Wyrick under pressure, escapes it for the moment, throws it out. A dangerous pass, but it's caught. Is that Mulligan again?
Yeah, it was.
First down, gain of 8. I tell you, Irvin Mulligan is showing skills we didn't know he had here in this first half.
You know, he was, again, a guy in 2019, played those 4 games. Jimmy Wyrick, stepping up, feeling the pressure, and just right over the head of the corner, right to Mulligan.
I don't think Yasin McKee knew that ball was coming. If he did, he would have been able to make a play on it, but he had his back turned. So first and 10 Terriers from their own 45. Wofford with the ball and a 10-point lead here on opening day of FCS Southern Conference Spring Football. That's going to be Mulligan again. They're just letting the big dog eat right now, and he gets 6.
Yeah, that's 6 yards on first down. that's good eating right there.
Into Mercer territory at the 49-yard line, right across that block W logo. Again, cannot commend the job the field crew and Andy Kaya and his staff have done here at Wofford to get this natural grass playing field into shape with all the rain we've had and the cold weather.
Yep, and it's, like you said, it's wintertime and the field looks like that.
All right, Broussard to the left. Slips one tackle, spun down by another after a short gain. Making a nice play, and coming up was McKee from the corner position.
Yeah, made a guy miss, but only able to get a yard out of it. But again, because of what you picked up on first down, it's still third and manageable.
3rd and 2 from the 40, right in between the 47 and the 48. We'll call it 2.5. One back to the side of Wyrick. Tight end and wide receivers to the left. Wyrick back to throw. Rolls to his right, looking. And that is going to be caught for a first down on the sidelines. A fingertip snag by Keandre Sanders, and another first down for Wofford.
He was close to stepping out of bounds as he was juggling that ball. In fact, I wasn't positive he didn't in live action.
Lost it, got it back in, got the left foot down, it looked like. Gain of about 7. More importantly, it moves the sticks for Wofford yet again. Clock continues to run with 2:36 left in the half. First to 10 Wofford from the Mercer 39. Give is inside. Somewhere down there is Damari, no, Broussard. Damari Broussard.
He came out the other end, but the whistles had blown.
Broussard is 5'11". He's solid. He's 204 pounds, but you put him next to some of the monsters Wofford has on the offensive line, and he kind of disappears.
Just disappears, that's right.
Right side, Chad Gardner, Quayshawn Greenlee trying to open that hole. Wofford goes junior, sophomore across the O-line, but most of those guys have stepped in starting roles, but all were backups last year. 2nd and 6. Making the handoff. Wyrick throws over the middle, and that's going to be incomplete. Intended for Landon Parker. Coverage for Mercer, Lance Wise.
I want to add that there is a new face in on that offensive line since one of the other earlier drives. Nick Russo has come in place of Elliott Campbell at the left guard position.
He's a 3rd-year sophomore out of Chester, New Jersey. It's funny because the 5 starters were backups at different positions last year, all kind of moved around in this offensive line shuffle. Wyrick is in trouble and nowhere to go as the option just never really took hold, making the hit that knocked him out of bounds for no gain. And that is going to bring up 4th down. Luke Ward made the hit for the Bears.
Luke Ward's been on a lot of plays today. Wofford's kind of in no man's land right here.
Yeah, you'd be so much more comfortable with this call if it was 4th and 5 or less. 4th and 9. You're basically telegraphing that you're going to throw. And the play clock is going to go all the way down, so Wofford's going to have to burn a timeout here. And they do. That's their 2nd timeout of the half. And Wade Lang, Josh Conklin, and their staff will talk about it. We'll take a break while they do. 1 minute and 35 seconds left in a very entertaining first half here in Spartanburg. Your score, Wofford 10 and Mercer 0. Football thing, nice weather, temperatures nearing 50 degrees here in Spartanburg. Wofford leading Mercer 10-0. Fourth down, the Terriers have the offense on the field, 4th and 9. Wyrick is going to go for it and throw down the middle, and that is going to be caught.
Landon Parker.
Inside the 5, Landon Parker took it away from 2 Bears for the 4th down conversion.
Oh, what a beautiful throw, and Landon Parker, great concentration as 2 Bears were around him to make that catch. You get another look at it here. Offensive line gave Jimmy a clean pocket, and just Parker kept his eye on it. That's the key there. Go up and get it, big fella.
36-yard gain down to the 2-yard line. It's 1st and goal, Terriers. Wofford looking to pad this lead. Give off inside. Broussard. Did he get in? He's awfully close. Touchdown, Terriers. Jamari Broussard from 2 yards out.
Yeah, that was set up a great execution on that 4th down play.
How's that for some confidence in your offense and your sophomore quarterback?
Yeah, we said they were kind of in no man's land there on 4th and 9, but did a nice job of converting on that first to get the first down.
I think that might have been Ryan Lovelace, 28-29. We'll double check that. I think Lovelace was the player that stretched across the goal line, and Dawson Hennis awaits the extra point.
They are looking at it and have deemed it as a touchdown. Everything's reviewed.
So Hennis out of the hold of Parker. Not often you see the guy make the catch that sets up the touchdown and then kneel down to hold for the attempt, but Wofford graduated the kicker and their holder from last year, and Dawson Hennis is perfect. So the Terriers have jumped out here. Spring football agreeing with at least one team on the field here. Your score with 1:11 to go. Here in Spartanburg, South Carolina, it's Wofford 17 and Mercer 0. And welcome back to Spartanburg, South Carolina. It is indeed Ryan Lovelace, the scorer of the touchdown. You see, you couldn't see the 28 because he was up against the bench. That's my excuse. But it was indeed Ryan Lovelace with the touchdown. Wofford out to a 17-0 lead over the Mercer Bears, and the Terriers, you know, they're running the ball when they have to. It's not the run the option on every play offense, Tom, but it's been very effective, and they've thrown the ball when necessary.
Yeah, it's been a nice balance, nice mix on that little shorter kickoff there. Mercer's got some running room.
Yeah, fielded by the up man and breaking a tackle, getting all the way out close to the 30-yard line. That was Brandon Marshall, not the Brandon Marshall.
No, not
their Brandon
Bronco.
Marshall.
That
Nice job.
Scoring drive, 11 plays, 70 yards, took almost 6 minutes off the clock. Again, the big play was the 4th down conversion on the pass from Wyrick to Landon Parker.
If you're Drew Cronick, how long do you stick with Carter Peavy? You gave Harrison Frost to start the quick hook after the turnover. It's been Peavy the rest of the way. Peavy's going to come out there now. Maybe you wait to halftime to make any kind of adjustments or stuff.
They've really got nothing going offensively, so yeah, you may need to switch back.
Peavy in the shotgun. 1st and 10, Bears. Drops back to pass. Over the middle. Finally had time to throw that time, and that ball was broken up and nearly intercepted. Tahira Noor was right there and almost stripped that one away.
Great coverage by Noor. He is a sophomore out of Nashville. Played at Brentwood Academy, and he's right there with them. He's got a younger brother that's coming to Wofford.
And an older brother that played for Furman. They still let him in this place. I mean that in the nicest possible way.
You have to charge him double if he wants to come and watch his brothers play.
Wofford and Furman, by the way, the 2 picks to win the Southern Conference by the coaches and the media. They'll play the final regular season game at Furman. Long way to go before then. Peavy back on 2nd down, and that's a good throw and a catch out to the 45-yard line. And a connection. Greg Starks on the receiving end. Drake Starks, the tight end.
Yeah, transfer from Lenore Ryan. Wonder who he knew there.
Followed his head coach down the road to Macon. Little hurry-up offense now for Mercer as we're under a minute to play. Another catch, and almost staying in bounds there. Ethan Deere makes the catch on the near sideline to the 37-yard line, and now that they're in a a little bit of a no-huddle offense, Mercer looking pretty good.
They've got all 3 timeouts left, so they've got room to operate.
39 seconds to go.
DeAndre Johnson is hobbling off the field. I think he did get off. That's why they've stopped things right now to let him get off the field, like he was holding his hamstring.
So Durham is split out wide to the right. 2 wide receivers to the bottom of the screen on 1st and 10. Mercer from the Wofford 37. Back to throw again is Peavy. Got pressure. Going to try to scramble out of it and throws it out of bounds. Almost there, getting a sack. That might have been John Beckley again. Joe Beckett. DJ Neal was there as well.
Yeah, Tanner Barnes is the guy that forced him out of there immediately. And then you're right, Jim, it was Joe Beckett that almost got him down, had him by the towel. No intentional grounding because he was outside the tackle box, but it did chew up some time off the clock.
29 seconds to go in the half. 2nd and 10 Mercer from the Wofford 37. Wofford with a 17-0 lead. Man in motion, goes to the right. Rolling out, here comes TJ Neal, and that's going to be incomplete. The pressure from Neal forced the pass. It was a little bit off the mark. Clock stops with 24 seconds to go in the half.
When you get pressure like that and you're out there and you've got contain and you do your job, it forces them to throw it earlier. You have to throw that off his back foot. Can't get set, has to throw it a little high, incomplete. Now it forces a 3rd down.
Wofford showing some blitzing under new defensive coordinator Rob Green. Just got the promotion a couple of weeks ago. 3rd down and 10. Carter Peavy takes the shotgun snap. Looking left. That ball is deflected as he went down, and he got blasted. Absolutely blasted.
Guess who?
Mr. Barnes again?
It was Michael Mason again. He comes off the left side this time. I mean,
boom.
Just
wow.
In a
watching
hurry.
the ball there, and that is going to bring up 4th down. And Peavy is not looking real great. I forgot his towel too, as he goes to the sideline. And they're going to try a long field goal here of about 53 yards. Caleb Dowden, 19 seconds left. I'm sure they're figuring, and now Wofford is going to take their final time out of the first half.
I think Wofford thought they were going to punt it. That's why Van Cleve was out there. But now, with a 53-yard into the wind, put him back there under the goalpost. Let him catch it and see if you can pull an Auburn versus Alabama.
Yeah, A's a long kick anyway. B, you talk about the wind going directly into the kicker's face. That would take a pretty prodigious boot to get it there. And if that ball falls short, it's returnable.
That's right.
And then the other thing you worry about if you're Wofford is just hold your water. Don't jump off sides or anything, even though it wouldn't result in an automatic 1st down. Anytime a team goes for a long field goal against the wind, you always wonder if they're just trying to make you jump a little bit.
Yeah, and in a situation like this, and it's going to be a 53-yarder if they do try to attempt it. I don't know what the guy's leg strength is. A lot of college kickers, they can 55 and in, they feel pretty comfortable. But into the breeze. And they're going to change the return guy. TJ Luther is going back there now.
Luther is usually the kickoff return man, and Van Cleve usually the punt returner.
So he's used to standing in the end zone and fielding the ball. And they've now bringing the offense back on the field.
And TJ Luther has never run faster than to get off on the field. And now 4th down. Remember all of this with 4th and 10. Mercer from the Wofford 37. Peavy is in the shotgun. DeAndre Johnson is back in, by the way. Little throw over the middle. It's complete, but it's going to be short of the 1st down after Wofford wraps up Drake Starks. So it'll be turnover on downs for the Terriers with 12 seconds to work with. And you've got to think that Josh Conklin and Wade Lang are probably going to be happy to go into the locker room with a 17-0 lead. But you never know. Interesting play call here.
Yeah, no timeouts left. Don't do something that gives up some points that you don't have to give up. I mean,
for Mercer, I think they were just trying to.
I'd take a knee here if I'm Wofford.
Yeah, and I think Mercer was just trying to do something. Well, if you were going to do really safe, you would have just handed the ball off. But maybe hope a guy breaks a tackle. Indeed, it's going to be the take a knee and go to the locker room formation for Wofford as Jimmy Wyrick does just that. And a great first half for the Wofford Terriers as they debut 2021 in style, at least in the first 30 minutes. If you're on the radio network, keep it right here. If you're on TV, we'll be back just before the half ends with some numbers. Wofford leads Mercer in your SoCon opener, 17-zip. It's Larson-esque right there for Terrier basketball fans who know all about that.
For our Mercer fans watching, Furman and Mercer are playing down in Macon, and the Paladins lead the Bears 27-26 at the break. That's a game where I can tell you in 100% honesty that everyone watching this game between Mercer and Wofford in football, they're all rooting for Mercer in basketball today.
It's interesting. Mercer, the basketball team, was, I think, a very sexy pick to be up in the top 3 or 4 of the Southern Conference, and got off to a tough start, starting to play a lot better now. Mercer basketball, maybe one of those teams you don't want to face in the Southern Conference tournament. Between Mercer and Chattanooga, they're both playing very well at this particular time.
Love what Greg Gary's doing down in Macon. Outstanding coach. He's got things moving in the right direction there, and see what Drew Cronick can do in his time in Macon. Is he's going to try to get his offense going here as they'll take possession to start this second half.
Yeah, Mercer won the coin toss to start the game, deferred to the second half, so they will get the ball, but they'll be going against the wind here in the third quarter as Hennis's kickoff goes down to about the 5-yard line. And there is Miller returning out over the 30.
Yeah, 31-yard line. Good field position to start.
Brandon Brown made the tackle for the Terriers. And now if you're Mercer, what do you do at quarterback?
Well, that'll be interesting to see what they do. And I'll tell you the other interesting thing here for Wofford, 17-point lead. Start this thing 0-0. That's what your mentality has to be right now. This is a tied game at 0-0.
Looks like it is once again Carter Peavy. He has played all but the opening series for the Bears. He's got a 1st and 10 from their own 31. Peavy in the shotgun, going to hand off and bouncing out to the outside and getting about 8 yards.
That's Clark.
That was a nice run by Nate Kendrick. Clark, and as Tom mentioned earlier, graduate transfer from Appalachian State, played his high school ball in Statesville, North Carolina. That's a good chunk on first down.
He's been their best running back today. It's his led him in rushing in the first half, adding to it here to start the second half.
Clark is the deep man in the backfield as this time Peavy goes under center on 2nd and short. And once again, they'll do that little put the man in motion, Durham, and then kind of hold everything. If this was taken out of the Lenore Ryan playbook that Drew Cronick brought with him. Now they get back underneath center and give it again to Clark. Clark battles for a couple of tough yards in there.
Not for the first down, what they were trying to accomplish there, but Tanner Barnes on the bottom of that pile for Wofford. But Clark, as you said, Jim, tough sledding, but enough for a first down to move the chains.
Elijah Ball got a hand on the ball carrier as well, playing at the nose guard. He's a sophomore from Rome, Georgia. So a Mercer first down. They only had 6 of those in the first half. Wofford had 10. 1st and 10 Bears from the Mercer 42. Peavy looks very comfortable despite this being a freshman start for him. He'll take it. Look at the option. Now he'll keep it. He's got some green grass and gets across the midfield into Wofford territory all the way down to the Terrier 40-yard line, a gain of 18 for the Mercer QB.
That was their best running play of the day, and I'm not so sure it wasn't a broken play because it looked like he took a misstep. No, he faked it to nobody. It's what it was, and I think that's what threw me off. Design play to run a little option there, and big gain there for Peavy.
Mercer trying to get something rolling here after being shut out in the first half by the Wofford defense. 1st and 10 from the Wofford 41. This time the handoff goes inside, and breaking it up for a good gainer is Brandon Marshall. Shoestring tackle there for Wofford, but not before Marshall broke off 5.
Yeah, Kagan Campbell, corner reserve, made the tackle for the Terriers.
Down to the Wofford 37. It'll be 2nd and 5.
And Campbell's a transfer from Jacksonville State that sat out 2019. Have to go all the way back.
Clark now is back in the backfield. He's the man behind Peavy. They'll shoot it out quick, and that's Deerham. Deerham breaks a tackle, gets down the sideline, and another first down for the Bears. Ethan Deerham gets all the way down to the 25-yard line, a 12-yard gain, and they move the sticks again.
Key in this, watch out here. 82, Andrew May with a great block. Put Campbell on the ground, and that allowed Deerham to turn the corner.
Carter Peavy marching the Bears down the field, looking a lot more poised, and he's had time to throw. Plus, they're running some quick hitters, too, not letting the Wofford pass rush get to the Mercer quarterback. Not those deep dropbacks that we saw in the first half, as Drew Connick and staff appear to have made the adjustment there. Man in motion is Deerham. Give us to Clark. He's got room up the middle, breaks a tackle inside the 10, inside the 5, and all the way down to the 3-yard line. And just like that, Mercer is in the red zone, inside goal to go.
It was almost like they heard us talking at halftime that they had to come out and establish the run. They've done that this half, and they've done it with Clark running behind an offensive line that's playing better here on this opening drive of the second half.
Now, Mark Clark down at the 4, so it's a 21-yard scamper. First and goal to go, Bears, as they try to get on the board for the first time today.
Wildcat formation.
Wildcat formation. DeAndre Johnson hurdles into the end zone, and he is in for the score, and Mercer is on the board.
Shifted Peavy out to a wide out position, and Johnson takes the direct snap, follows his lead block there, and gets into the end zone. Impressive drive by Mercer to start this second half. We've got a ball game.
Got a nice block on the edge by left tackle John Thomas. Dowden in to attempt the point after. And that is true. And Mercer has driven down the field with the second half kickoff and made this one a ball game. 11-12 to go here in the third quarter. Mercer has broken through, but Wofford still leads it 17-7. Right down the field for their first score, so Wofford will get the ball back now with a 10-point lead. Jim Noble, Tom Henson here at Gibbs Stadium, Mike Ayers Field in Spartanburg, South Carolina. And Caleb Dowden will get ready to kick this one deep. And TJ Luther is back on the Wofford 5-yard line, kicking into the wind. So they squib it right down the middle, and an up back will take it. Nope, Luther will get it himself just inside the 20. He'll tippy-toe across the 25 and get pushed almost to the 30-yard line as the rugby scrum.
The rugby scrum has developed.
And that's where Wofford will put the ball into play. But a nice adjustment by Mercer. And, you know, Drew Connick didn't go 47-6 at Lenore Ryan without being able to make adjustments offensively.
Yeah, and I thought they established it right off the bat, running the football. And you see Clark with a nice run and Peavy with a nice run, getting themselves going. And then quick passes. You said that, Jim. Great block on the outside. Quick passes allows Peavy to kind of get into a flow, get it down close, knock on the door, run a little wildcat, score a touchdown. And now, hey, if you're Wofford, you better figure out a way to answer, because if you don't, Mercer's offense is feeling pretty good about themselves. If you're Wofford's defense, adjust to what you've just seen.
Jimmy Wyrick has gone the whole way at quarterback for Wofford today. He will run the option to the right. The pitch, that's Ryan Lovelace, catches it. A lot of Bears, good pursuit by Mercer offensively. It's a gain of about 1.5 yards.
Yeah, pitch was a little behind him, but I think that didn't really matter. Mercer had that thing strung out, sniffed out, did a nice job of limiting Wofford to, like you said, Jim, game about 1.5 yards.
Ken Stanley and Solomon Zubaru, one of my favorite SoCon names of the year.
Like that.
Motored over there to make the tackle. Wofford's got it 2nd and 8 from their own 32, and Wyrick's back to throw. A little screen out, and look at that coverage. Maybe 1 yard for Lovelace on the catch, and right there to fling him down to the ground is Gamage again. Denija Gamage is having a nice game from that inside linebacker position. Of course, they're almost positionless, the linebackers and safeties for Mercer. They're looking for guys who can run. Not necessarily the biggest guys out there, but they're covering much better than they did in half number 1. 3rd and 6 for Wofford from their own 34. Man in motion. Wyrick throws over the middle, and that's going to be complete for a first down. He finds The big man, Garrison Moore, the tight end, into Mercer territory.
Yeah, the senior out of Columbia, Ben Lippin School, did a nice job just coming across the middle. Great pass protection again, giving Wyrick a nice pocket to throw from. And again, the Terriers convert on third down. They were 5 for 10 in the first half, 1 for 1 here in this half. And that's demoralizing to a defense. 3rd and 6, you just scored. Hey, get off the field. Nope, Wofford converts, keeps their drive alive.
Gain of 18 on the hookup from Wyrick to Moore. It's 1st and 10 Terriers now from the Mercer 48. 9:18 to go, 3rd quarter. Wofford with a 17-7 lead. Wyrick, quick hitter out to the right. That's going to be Jim Welsh with the catch. Burrows ahead and a good gainer of about 7 on first down. Welsh, the senior wide receiver out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, went to Woodbury Forest Prep School and has been a part of this program for a long time.
Yeah, walk-on who has done a tremendous job in his 4 years here. And if you've ever been to Woodbury Forest, you know that it is one of the most picturesque places on the East Coast. A beautiful place. And tell you what, Jim has become quite a football player here for the Terriers.
I'll give him 5 on there, moved it back a yard after the original spot, so it's 2nd and 5 Wofford from the Mercer 42. Wyrick. This time he'll hand it off right up the middle and picking his way through the defense. That's Irwin Mulligan again. Irvin Mulligan, first down for the Terriers. He's all the way down to the Mercer 31.
The redshirt freshman out of Beaufort had a great first half. Great vision, good jump cut there. Mulligan is starting to rack up some yardage. Maybe said he's from Beaufort, played at Whale Branch High School. That's where Nick Pringle, the Terrier freshman on the basketball team, also played.
Yeah, Jaheim Hazel, Wofford defensive back. They've got quite the recruiting connection at that school down in the Low Country. 1st and 10 Terriers. Ball on the 32 of Mercer. Actually call it the 31. This time Wyrick, straight handoff, and that's Mulligan again. Not as much running room that time. Boy, the Mercer safeties really come up quickly. That was Gamage once again, who, he listed it as a linebacker. Probably the lightest linebacker, pure linebacker in the SoCon, but he comes up and he hits.
Well, that's just what you said. Right now, teams want athleticism and speed on the field, and you're willing to give up 20 pounds at linebacker if you've got a guy that can run.
Gain of 2, 2nd and 8 now. Wofford from the 28. Right side, turning the corner. Mulligan has a step. He's got another first down inside the red zone, inside the 15, down to the 12-yard line.
Got a great block out there. I think it might have been Garrison Moore, the tight end. But Mulligan, just great vision, hits the hole, shows some speed, to being tackled forward, like what I'm seeing out of the redshirt freshman.
16-yard gain. Irwin Mulligan now has 60 yards rushing for the Terriers. And Wofford's got another scoring chance. 1st and 10 from the 12. Wyrick under center. Straight handoff to Walker. Nathan Walker almost to the pylon, and he steps out of bounds just around the 2, maybe the 3-yard line. Got 10 yards, and that's going to be very close to a first down, too.
Yeah, it is going to be a first down, and Wofford's going fast here. They're playing some tempo.
Watch Walker bounce it outside. He is a big, strong runner, tough to bring down, and tried to stretch out for the pylon and had already stepped out of bounds. Quick hitter, it's Walker again, and this time he's into the end zone for the Terrier touchdown.
Yeah, same formation that they just ran the previous play out of, and if it worked that time, run it again, and Walker finds the end zone. Terriers with their 3rd rushing touchdown of the day.
That is career touchdown number 6 for the junior out of Ridgeville, South Carolina. And Wofford trying to make it a 24-7 lead as Dawson Ennis tries the extra point. Out of the hold of Parker, Springer, the long snapper. Snap, hold, kick, everything perfect. And Wofford responds to the Mercer touchdown with a long drive of their own. Taking it the length of the field, Nathan Walker caps it off. And the Terriers have themselves a 24-7 lead. The punch from Mercer, the counter punch from Wofford, doing it through the air with Garrison Moore from Jimmy Wyrick, and then another quick hitter passer to Jim Welsh, and then the Terriers, Tom Henson, put the ball on the ground and ran their kind of football.
Yeah, just great blocking up front has been the key to all of this. Running the ball and the pass protection, I think, has been phenomenal for Wofford. And now, you know, both teams have had a possession. Both teams have scored. We'll see what happens here on this ensuing Mercer possession as they'll get good field position again.
Yeah, high short kick by Hennis. DeAndre Johnson takes it out to the 32-yard line, and it'll be Mercer football there. Yeah, you mentioned the Wofford offensive line. Zach Kurz, Elliott Campbell, Al Hogan, Chad Gardner, Quashon Greenlee, the starters. I know Nick Russo has been there as well. And
I think Tavion Gas has played some.
That has been the question mark of the offseason. I mean, Wofford graduated some studs. I mean, you know, Michael Ralph, Justice Basinger, you know, Blake Girasati, Josh Berger, they transferred to Power 5 schools. You know, Liam Ronan, don't want to leave him out. And for these guys to just follow right on the heels of that bunch has really been heartwarming to see if you're a Wofford fan. Reversing field and making a nice play out of it and still running down the sideline. That's going to be Marshall, and finally knocked out of bounds deep in Wofford territory. And that is going to be a big, big gainer for the Bears.
Longest play of the day for them, only because Marshall just had nowhere to go the way the play was designed. And he came back the other way, and there was nobody on the weak side for Wofford. And there shouldn't have been. That play was going that way. And just good quickness by Marshall to get to the corner and down the field.
37 yards on the run for Brandon Marshall. And all of a sudden, Mercer is knocking on the door again. Right up the middle. Quick hitter from Clark. Kendrick Clark pulls his way down for about 5. Joe Beckett in the mix on that tackle for Wofford. Also, Darren Pascal coming over from the corner position. He comes off the field now. It'll be 2nd and 5, Bears. Clock running, 5:20 to go, third quarter. Wofford with a 24-7 lead in the SoCon spring opener for both of these teams.
You'll take that 5 yards on first down. It means you can do some things here on 2nd and 5 if you want.
Carter Peavy in the shotgun. Clark in the eye behind him. Man in motion is Deerham. It's Clark. And how about that play? Oh my goodness, Tanner Barnes snipped that one out. Actually a nice job by Clark to fall forward and keep it from being a bigger loss, but he lost a half a yard, and Tanner Barnes has been a force. Both the defensive linemen have been for Wofford.
Yeah, Tanner Barnes straight up the field. See the play, make it, and that's exactly what he did there.
So to bring up an interesting play, 3rd and 6 from the Wofford 28. Mercer really needs to score here and not let Wofford get the ball back with that big cushion as Peavy rolls out to the right. He's going to keep it and try to bull his way forward, but he will be stopped short of the first down. Joe Beckett made sure he would not get to the marker, and we may be in 4-down territory here for the Bears.
Yeah, you are, I think. He's about 2.5, 3 yards short, I think.
I know it's only 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, and it's 24-7, but you get the sense from Mercer that they can't afford to simply match scores with Wofford. They've got to go out there and keep forging ahead and try to get some stops on defense and turn the ball over here or kick a field goal. It doesn't do you a whole heck of a lot of good.
I was going to say field goals do them no good right now. I don't think. I like this call going for it.
4th and 3, we've got a whistle, and a timeout will be taken by the Wofford Terriers. We'll keep it right here as the Terriers, maybe Josh Conklin and his staff, Rob Green, defensive coordinator, wanted to just get a look at the alignment that Mercer was putting out there, or maybe they didn't feel they had the right defense for that formation. Either way, it's the first time out of the second half of the Terriers.
Yeah, I think Coach Conklin and Coach Green understand how big of a play this is coming up here, and you want to make sure you're dialed in completely and you have everybody doing what they're supposed to do here. Reading assignments, and it's a big play for Mercer as well. And you know, you said it. You're at 3:39 to play in the third quarter, 17-point game. A lot of momentum running on this play. Someone's going to grab a lot of momentum here. You know, and if you're Wofford, Mercer really hadn't stopped you a whole lot here, and I think that's why Mercer has to go for it here. And I don't know that 24 points wins this game. I think for Mercer, I think it takes a lot more than that. It certainly doesn't win it. I think they're thinking they need touchdowns, not field goals.
So 4th and 3 once again from the Wofford 24. Marshall is the setback behind Peavy. He'll get the give.
Wow.
And Marshall is not going anywhere, and Wofford will take over on downs. Brandon Brown made the initial hit.
And Michael Mason finished it off.
So Wofford holds, and Mercer sees a great opportunity to go by the boards.
Interesting play call for me.
Well, it's a deep handoff, so now instead of gaining 3, you've got to gain 7.
Well, and not only that, but the guy who's been punishing you on deep handoffs is Clark, not Marshall. But that's why we're up here and they're down there.
It'll be Wofford football, 1st and 10 from their own 25. They take over with 3:34 to go in quarter number 3. And now the Terriers have a 24-7 lead and the football.
And do they smell a little blood in the water here now, too?
You take a chance to go up top, we shall see. I'm going to hand it off on 1st down, and why not right up the middle. And a big gainer. Ryan Ingram gets his first carry of the game, and he should retire right now. How about that per carry average? A gain of 22.
5'11", 200-pound freshman out of Stone Mountain, Georgia. Played at Stevenson High School. And yeah, so what do we know? Throw it up top. It's just a fullback dive up the middle that goes for 20.
Let's hand it to a guy that hasn't touched the ball all game long. It worked out just fine. 1st down. This time they fake into the line and a throw over the middle. He's got Van Cleve, but just a little bit out of his reach.
Maybe
that's the play you were thinking about.
Yeah, that's what I thought was coming to play before. But, you know, you go back to that run play by Ingram, fresh legs. That says a lot here as you get into the late 3rd quarter. That pass was just a tick overthrown. I think the wind might have made it even more than just a half a tick overthrown. But Van Cleve had gotten the separation, and if you throw it up a little more air under it, let him run under it, it's 6.
You know, Wofford can roll 5 experienced running backs out there, and we just saw a 6th Ingram carry the football for 22. They can really wear a defense down. 2nd down, Wyrick back to pass again. Throws, and that's going to be on a hop, a little bit short. That one was intended for Alec Holt. He's a true freshman out of Lexington, South Carolina. And Wyrick, I don't think really stepped into this one as well as he wanted to.
He kind of had happy feet back there in the pocket for some reason, and needed to get that going a little bit better. Step into it and rip it over there.
It's 3rd and 10 Terriers, still from the 46-yard line. Wyrick takes the shotgun snap, and he'll hand this one off. Exploring the right side, but not going to get anywhere near the 1st down marker is Lovelace. And Mercer will come up, I believe, with a stop, depending on what Wofford decides to do here on 4th down from midfield. And this, again, well, they've got Landon Parker out there. Of course, that doesn't mean anything because he's a tight end and a punter. But it does look like Wofford's going to kick it away.
And this is what we have to talk about. Looks like they will, because with Landon Parker back there, he's an athlete. He is. You said he's had a long catch today on a pass play. He can run it. We'll see what happens.
Just another thing for other teams to think about, worry about. You put something on tape, and the whole conference has to worry about it. And
just like they just did just there.
Different look up under center.
That's Beckley.
Beckley carries the ball. I don't know. And I think they were just trying to get Mercer to jump after all that. Didn't work. The Bears held their water, and Wofford's got to burn their 2nd time out of the half.
I took the
did they take the delay game?
Yeah.
Okay. That 5 yards really in the grand scheme of things, especially when you're kicking with the wind, doesn't matter.
But, you just showed something that people have to wonder about. You know, you send Beckley running up behind the long snapper, looking like he's going to take it, and you got Parker back there. I mean, I don't know if Beckley can throw it or not, but if he can, he's got a capable receiver in Landon Parker.
And sometimes there's an audible where if the defense leaves something open, you can go ahead and shift it.
That's right.
To a trick play and a fake punt. Landon Miller is back deep for Mercer. That one booted and angled, and a fair catch called for by Miller and caught on the 17-yard line. We'll take a quick timeout here from Spartanburg, South Carolina. It's Mercer's ball, but it's Wofford's game so far. The Terriers lead at 24-7. By using with 2:04 to go in the 3rd quarter, and Harrison Frost got the start at quarterback for Mercer. Played exactly one series, and it's been Carter Peavy the whole rest of the way for the Bears at quarterback.
Yeah, Frost fumbled it on that his only possession, and we hadn't seen him since.
Peavy in the shotgun, got Clark behind him on first down. Quick shot out to Marshall. Good pursuit by the Wofford defense, but still Marshall manages to navigate that for a decent gain. He was kind of cooped up and managed to get 6 yards out of it. Swarming Wofford defense. At that point, you're Wofford, you're looking to get more than one hat on the ball.
That's
you're
right.
looking to flow to the sideline, wrap up, don't give up any big plays with this lead.
Keep it all in front of you. Make
Second
them
down.
earn everything. Make them eat clock doing everything.
2nd and 3 from the 23. This time it's a give up the middle, and Clark has the first down, it looks like, falling forward.
That's the play I thought I would see on 4th down earlier.
Quick hitter.
Quick hitter to the bigger back and Clark.
So Mercer into a little hurry-up situation. They moved the ball very effectively at the end of the first half when they did that, although they came up empty on that particular drive. Bears took the second half kickoff and drove right down the field for their only touchdown of the game. 1st and 10. Peavy sets the tight end in motion. And he's back to pass, rolling out to his right, looking downfield, doesn't see anybody open, and he's going to have to eat the football. How about that Wofford secondary? It won't go down as a sack, but that's the closest thing to a coverage sack you'll see.
Again, bootleg out of there and nothing downfield. Terriers, great coverage. Peavy ends up getting a gain of 1, but again, you'll take that all day. That's just a good job by the defensive backs.
Anderson, Richardson, and Noah Pascal really locked up their receivers, and it was just a gain of 1 for Peavy. Now it's a 3rd and 9 situation. Wofford's been very good defensively on these 3rd and longs. Watch out for Michael Mason and Tanner Barnes coming off the edge. Mercer may know that, and they're just going to hand it off. I don't want to say surrendering, but they've seen what can happen when Wofford can pin their ears back, and it's a short gainer up the middle for Al Wooten.
Miles Richardson in there.
I think that'll bring up their down. The down marker was wrong. The down marker on the Mercer sideline, now you see it at 3rd, but it said 3rd before that play. That's the end of the 3rd quarter here in Spartanburg. Mercer will have it trying to convert a 3rd down, but the Terriers lead it at home. It's Wofford 24 and Mercer 7. Kicking off quarter number 4 here in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Wofford leads Mercer 24-7 in the Southern Conference opener. The Bears have it 3rd and 3 from their own 34. Man in motion takes the pitch. That's DeAndre Johnson. He's got the first down and a lot more down the sideline into Wofford territory. Missed tackle there, and Johnson takes it all the way down to the 27-yard line.
He did a great job slamming on the brakes and letting Joe Beckett go past him. Somebody is slow to get up, and it is Johnson.
49 yards for Keandre Johnson. We'll try to see what happened here. Oh, it looks like he might have pulled that hamstring again. He kind of, remember he went off in the first half and had a hamstring problem, and he kind of, right before he got tackled, he was gimpy there, and he is going to stay down on the field. It gives us a chance to look at some of the numbers from through 3 quarters. And Tom, you said overall stats are fairly even, but there's a couple of things that stick out.
Yeah, Wofford with 295 total yards, Mercer with 229. First downs, 15-11 in favor of Wofford. Time of possession, 25-27 to 19-33 in favor of Wofford. But the things that stand out, 6 of 12 are the Terriers converting on 3rd down. Mercer's only 2 of 9. A couple of other things, red zone, Wofford's 4 for 4, Mercer's 1 for 12. And then turnovers. Mercer's turned it over twice, Wofford hasn't turned it over.
You see Johnson being helped off that, almost sure that it was that hamstring issue that occurred in the first half, reoccurred on that long run, so he is going to be sorely missed. He's a real weapon offensively, but the Bears do have a great field position after that 52-yard play. It's 1st and 10 Mercer from the Wofford 28, just starting the 4th quarter here in Spartanburg. Peavy is under center. Will roll out, look to his left. Forced back to his right, evades one. Can he evade everybody else? No, he's just got to throw it away. He is slung to the ground by Tanner Barnes, but he was about the third Terrier to get there.
Was there a receiver anywhere over there? I mean, he might have broken the tackle box.
Yeah, they're saying he was outside the tackle box, and the pass did get to the line of scrimmage, so no intentional grounding there. Actually, Peavy did a nice job of even getting to that point as Wofford sent one man in on a blitz, and then the rest of the rush got there as well. 2nd and 10 from the 28. In motion is Marshall. Fumble. And Wooten let it go, and Wofford's on top of it.
I think it's Elijah Ball recovering it.
Yeah, I don't think Peavy and Wooten combined on that handoff at all. I don't know whether Al Wooten had complete control. We'll look here. That's the old option where I think Wooten either thought that Peavy was trying to pull it out or Peavy was indeed trying to pull it out, and Wooten didn't let go of it. Regardless, as you said, Wofford and Elijah Ball with the fumble recovery and another turnover for the Terriers.
Yeah, that's a third forced one, all fumbles. Elijah Ball, the 6'3", 255 sophomore out of Rome, prepped at the Darlington School. Big fumble recovery there for him.
Wofford with the ball in a 24-7 lead here in the fourth. They'll hand it off. Short gainer off the left side by Walker. Coming up to make the tackle for the Bears was Alvin Ward.
You know, he still got about 3.5, 4 out of that somehow.
You've seen Nathan Walker walking around. Would you like to
Nope.
throw yourself in front of him when he's got those shoulders square and those legs pumping?
There's certain guys that you can see looking at when they walk around cameras. You're like, yep, he plays football. There's no doubt. Nathan Walker is one of them.
2nd and 6. Wofford with the ball from their 32. That one's right up the middle, too. And a nice defensive surge by the Bears defensive line as Lovelace is thrown backwards.
Yeah, Alvin Ward again in there, the graduate transfer from Georgia Southern.
Do you think that when you have a coaching change like Mercer had, that, you know, when you try to implement a new offensive system, sometimes the defense is ahead of the offense, especially an offense as intricate as the one Chronic ran at Lenore-Rhine?
Yeah, I think very well could be. I mean, and you may just have more pieces for what you're trying to do defensively.
3rd and 4, Wofford from their own 34. Clock continues to run here in the fourth quarter. The Terriers with a 17-point lead, and Wyrick's going to pull the ball down and look deep, floating along over the middle. It's complete. Big gainer into Mercer territory. That is Demario Van Cleve on the other end.
Great touch on that pass from Wyrick to Van Cleve. And Demario was able to secure that one. They had tried to connect earlier and was a little bit of an overthrow, but tell you what, that is a beautifully thrown pass that time by Jimmy Wyrick.
36 yards on the connection, all the way down to the Mercer 30-yard line, and Wofford is on the march again.
A touchdown here very well may do it.
Jimmy Wyrick's been so impressive in this first start of his collegiate career. Mulligan, he's been impressive as well. Another first down as he rolls off the right side for 14.
Irvin Mulligan is having a coming out party for this spring season. We saw good things out of him in the fall of 19.
A couple of good things from a Wofford perspective is, you know, you take away that first series where I think Wyrick went the wrong way in the first play of the game and they went 3 and out. Take that first series away. They haven't made many mistakes. They haven't turned the ball over. Very few penalties, too. It hasn't been that prototypical sloppy game that a first game often is. 1st and 10 Wofford, now on the Mercer 17. Up the middle again, spinning past a tackle is Mulligan. He's got 6.
Yeah, Luke Ward came up from his safety position and just kind of, I thought he whiffed on the tackle at first, but he was able to get him to the ground, and if he doesn't, it's a touchdown.
Irvin Mulligan, as you said, Tom, having himself a day. He's now run 11 times for 90 yards. It'll be 2nd and 4 from the Mercer 12. Clock running with 11 and a half minutes to play. Fourth quarter, 24-7 Terriers. Wyrick hands off to Broussard. Broussard turns the corner and he is in. Jamari Broussard. I gave him a touchdown he didn't earn in the first half. He earned that one, and it's 30-7.
How about Wofford? 4 different rushing touchdowns by 4 different players, and a great job there on the right side. Got him a hole, and Broussard's got some speed, showed it there. Jamari Broussard, 5'11" sophomore out of Jacksonville, Florida.
Dawson Hennis has been perfect kicking for Wofford. Tough act to follow after 4-year kicker Luke Carter finally graduated. And he's perfect again with the PAT. 11 minutes, 19 seconds to go in this one, and it has turned into a rout. Wofford rolling all over Mercer. It's 31-7 Terriers. It may be a little cold here in Spartanburg. It's actually hit 50 degrees, but the hearts of Wofford fans are warm. Mercer, not so much. The Terriers are in control, 31-7. Wofford has rolled up 194 rushing yards on the day. As Dawson Hennis will kick it deep, and it's another short one that's fielded by the up man and taking a big hit, but getting it across the 30.
Jay Hazel just flat laid out the returner.
That was taking one for the team was Ty James for Mercer. Remember, though, you and I were in Macon, Georgia back in the fall of 2019 when Wofford rolled over Mercer 41-7. And, of course, after that season, the Bears made a coaching change. Bobby Lamb out, Drew Cronick in. And, you know, it's hard to gauge things after such a long layoff. And I know Cronick and the Bears wanted bigger things for this day. And it takes a while. He's a successful Division II coach. Things are ramped up here in Division I in the Southern Conference. But I don't think Mercer's been the story. I think the story has been Wofford just playing like a team that's in mid-season form right now.
Yeah, playing like a team that wants to win a 4th consecutive Southern Conference championship, and maybe is using this game as to let the league know, hey, you know what? We're still here. we're still a team that can contend and win a title.
The injured Bear on the field is left guard Bailey Clark, the junior out of Savannah, Georgia. They'll attend to him. Of course, the all-time series between these two teams, it's quite unusual. So before Wofford entered the Southern Conference and before Mercer reinstated football, Mercer won 6 games against Wofford. They were all kind of scattered around the 50s, the 60s, you know, and things like that when Wofford, heck, was an NAIA team and Mercer didn't play big-time college football. Once Mercer joined the Southern Conference, as you see Clark getting helped off the field, hope he's okay, it's been all Wofford. 6-0 Wofford. They've won 6 games. Last year, 41-7 in Macon. This one, 31-7 here in Spartanburg. And it's been the only team that Mercer has not defeated in football since they joined the conference.
And they had some close games, a couple of one-point Wofford wins in Macon, the first couple of two out of the first 4 years. But you're right, this year in 2019 certainly have been dominated by the Terriers.
Under 11 minutes to go, 2nd down, another run right into the middle. And Clark on the carry gets about 3. Not the kind of offense you run when you're down 31-7. So one of two things is happening. Either Drew Cronick's trying to lull the Terriers into false sense of security, or maybe Drew Cronick says, let's run our offense like it's 0-0 and try to execute a few things.
I think that's exactly what they're doing. Hey, well, what are some things we haven't done well today that we need to be able to do well going forward? And let's execute. One of them's convert on 3rd down. They've got to do better on that. 3rd and 4 is something you need to be clicking on, 50% of the time.
3rd and 4 Bears from their own 37. Got 3 wide receivers to the top of the screen, 2, and a tight end. One of those, Marshall goes in motion. It's another give straight into the line, and Clark is going to be stopped about a yard short.
Yep. Again, I go back to that play in the 3rd quarter where momentum was up for grabs. It was only 24-7, and Mercer had a 4th down play, and they ran between the tackles with one of the smaller backs instead of Clark, and Wofford stuffed it easily.
Brandon Brown made the 3rd down stop. Mercer's going to go for it on 4th down, and why not? Down big. Ball's on the 39. It'll be 4th at a long 1. Peavy looks to the sideline to get a play. They've got extra tight end on both sides. Clark has it. He's got the first down. Dives across the 40 down to the 38. It'll be a fresh set of downs for the Bears as the clock continues to run. Stop momentarily with 9:23 to go. Mercer was picked to finish 6th in the Southern Conference preseason media poll. Wofford picked by the coaches to win the conference. Furman picked by the media to win the conference. Wofford, as Tom said, going for their 4th straight Southern Conference title. As Peavy is running for his life, he'll let it go just before Tanner Barnes and Joe Beckett get there.
Wofford's done that all day. They have applied pressure right off the bat to start the game when the quarterback was Frost, and they had a strip sack. And then, you know, I don't know how many times Peavy's had a clean pocket to throw from, but it hadn't been more than a few.
So 8:55 to play. 2nd and 10 Mercer from the 42. If you think about it, with all the worries about spring football and prep time, it's also a chance for Wofford to rotate some guys through defensively, something Sam Seifkes loved to do when he was defensive coordinator. A give and a quick hitter out across the 45 to the 46. And Landon Miller had the carry on that. You always have to look down with these Mercer guys because they can catch it, they can receive it, they run the joker position. Kind of a, you know how we talk about basketball being a positionless game. I think Mercer football is gravitating in that direction as well.
I think you're exactly right. Gonzaga is the king of positionless basketball right now.
Yeah, but their football team's not that good.
They're awful.
I mean, they're 0 for like...
0 for ever.
Ever, yeah.
Putting all their resources in basketball.
3rd and 7. In motion is Deerham. They fake it going the other way and fighting for the first down. I think he's going to be about a half-yard short. Good effort on that run by Brandon Marshall.
Yeah, he's going to be a little bit short, but give him his 2nd and 3rd effort. It's going to make that could have easily been 4th and 2 or 3, but instead it's going to be about 4th and a couple of feet.
And Mercer's going to go for it as well. Why not? Clock continues to run with 7:40 to play here in this 4th quarter. Wofford 31, Mercer 7. Spring opener for both of these Southern Conference schools. Peavy right under center. Man in motion. Peavy's going to sneak and get the first down. Good surge by the offensive line. And Mercer will keep the sticks moving. I think you're right. You can kind of tell by the play selection right here. It's just, this is Drew Cronick and you know, his co-offensive coordinators, Tim Fester and Bob Bodine. Just see how we can play football right now. Let's forget about situations. Let's forget about the clock. Let's forget about the score. You know, you've been practicing against each other for so long. And, you know, Wofford hasn't seen another team for a year and a quarter. And just to be able to test yourself against another team is something you need to be able to do. And roll out an incomplete pass intended for Brandon Marshall. Once again, Peavy just running away from would-be sackers. You know, and if it's not the guys coming off the edge, Wofford's been very judicious with a couple of inside blitzes. That was Brandon Brown getting in there. And it's just, it's a multiple defense. It's a sophisticated college football defense. Josh Conklin's background, the head coach for Wofford, is defense, and it's a tough job for an opponent to prep. Quick wide receiver screen. Deerham has it. About a block away from having a chance to get that first down.
Good open field tackle by Jay Hazel out there.
He's the one that shed that block. Jaheim Hazel is actually the cousin of Wofford basketball player Nick Pringle, who Tom mentioned earlier, the duo from Whale Branch High School down near Beaufort, South Carolina. I don't know who's had a better game because the Wofford basketball team won by about 30 over Western Carolina. So
it's a good day for both.
Nick and Jaheim may argue a bit over that when the Wofford basketball bus gets back to campus here.
How about they just agree that it's just been a great day to be a Terrier?
It works for me. All right, give inside. Clark trying to break a tackle. Could not do it. Bottled up after a 2-yard gain.
Now they're going to get another crack at 4th down here. They've converted twice on this drive. The other thing you like to see when you're Wofford, you're giving up some yardage here. You're playing them tough between the trenches, but that clock is just dying away, and you like that with a 24-point lead.
This time it's 4th and 2 from the Terrier 41. We've got a whistle and a timeout, Wofford. So we will take a timeout with them with 5 minutes and 38 seconds left to go in this one. Wofford firmly in control, 31-7. We'll see what the Bears can do when we come back. 4th down for Mercer. 4th and 2 from the Wofford 41. Mercer still trails Wofford 31-7 as Carter Peavy is under center again. Snuck it on the last time. This time they're going to go into that hurry up and wait formation that they've used a couple of times, perhaps trying to get Wofford to jump. 10 seconds still on the play clock, and now they'll reset. Peavy hands it off. Clark has the first down down to the 35-yard line. They'll gain close to 4. 3 4th down conversions on this drive for the Mercer Bears.
It's been one of their better possessions of the game. I think for them, the shame is that it's coming in when you're down 24. Their best possession was at the start of the second half. They went down the field, a mix of run and pass, and looked good doing it, and made it at that point a game. But Wofford responded, and I thought that response to make it 24-7 took a lot of wind out of the sails of the Bears.
It'll be 1st and 10. Mercer from the Wofford 35. Marshall in motion. Peavy looking deep. He'll throw over the middle, and that is complete to Marshall inside the 10. Big gainer for the Bears. 27 yards on that hookup, and they're in the red zone.
Just in between, a little wheel route basically is what it was, and found a soft spot over there. Now if you're Mercer, try to punch this thing in the end zone.
Peavy has gone all the way with the exception of the first series of the game that Harrison Frost played. We don't know if Harrison Frost got injured at all or whether he was just yanked after a strip sack and a turnover on Mercer's first possession, but he has not played since. They've gone with the freshman, Peavy, the rest of the way. He's under center now, 1st and 10. Give, coming around and taking the handoff.
That was Landon Miller. He got nothing.
Yeah, Miller most of the time just returns kickoffs, but he's had a couple carries here in the second half. No gain, so 2nd and 10. Clark now back in at the running back position. No huddle for the Bears. Clock now under 4 minutes to play. Peavy looking left. Lob into the corner, and that is defended very, oh, we got a flag that comes out, and I don't know if, are they going to say that they weren't playing the football? Looked like Kagan, was that Campbell in coverage there?
Kagan Campbell.
Kagan Campbell thought he had great position, but if you don't look at that football and then the contact ensues, more often than not, the defender will get hit with that call. It will indeed be pass interference on Wofford. Hear a smattering of boos from the crowd. A few hundred fans here allowed. Yeah, he did get into him before. He got the head around, but after the contact.
There's so many times that I would think, how about a no call?
The pass was intended for Ty James. He's a great target. They've got a 6'1" receiver in James. They've got a 6'4" receiver in Andrew May. And this is when you'd love to have those guys in the red zone when the field gets small.
That's right. It shrinks down.
So 1st down, goal to go from the 2 after the pass interference in the end zone. Peavy hands it off. Not getting quite there, getting down to the 1.
That was Clark, yeah.
Kendrick Clark is stopped short. 3.5 minutes as the clock keeps moving. Mercer will get right back up on the ball.
I can tell you the wind has shifted directions because now it feels like it's blowing right into the booth.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm behind the window.
Those icicles you see are just hanging off of me for no reason.
All right, Mercer trying to punch it in and get their second score. Peavy now in the shotgun. He will hand it off. Nothing doing there. Trying to spin in again. And did the second effort get there? No, it did not. I think that was Clark again.
It was, yeah.
Clark is trying to say, and a couple of other Bears are trying to say that he crossed the plane after the initial contact, but I think that play may have been blown dead before that happened, right?
Yeah, he certainly was stopped with his initial surge.
Right there.
He's lucky he didn't get that ball swatted out of his hand. That's a dangerous thing to do.
So it's 3rd and goal from the 1. If Wofford could come up with a defensive stand here, a sneak from Peavy, and I think he got underneath, and he did. Touchdown, Mercer.
Now, good drive by Mercer.
3 fourth down conversions.
Yeah. Wouldn't say this is in crunch time or anything like that, but they went down the field and did a nice job converting on the 4th downs, as you mentioned. Something to build upon.
Yeah, that'll make the bus trip back a little bit more palatable to know that you got something going near the end of the game. It's kind of like birdieing 18. You know,
something to get you back the next time.
You feel a little bit better about that.
Yeah, never mind that you shot a 112.
I've never birdied 18, so I wouldn't know. And I have shot 112 as Caleb Dowden doinks one in.
Yeah.
How about that? A billiard shot off the right upright, but it counts. That makes it 31-14 Wofford with 2:23 to go. Second touchdown drive of the afternoon by the Mercer Bears here in Spartanburg. And welcome back to Gibbs Stadium, Spartanburg, South Carolina. Mercer has just tacked on their second touchdown, courtesy of a Carter Peavy 1-yard touchdown plunge, and they will kick off to Wofford as the Terriers still have a 31-14 lead here in the SoCon opener for both teams.
Wofford was expecting maybe an onside, had 10 guys close to the line. And a good decision there by Van Cleve.
Because he had absolutely no blockers after they had the hands team on there. What have you liked most today, Tom Henson, from a Wofford perspective?
You know, I like two things, and they're both in the trenches. I've liked the offensive line play, and I've liked the defensive line play. Offensive line play is rebuilt from last year. It's 5 new starters. I think they've done a nice job. Terriers have got 367 yards of total offense. From a defensive line perspective, they have spent most of the day in the backfield of Mercer and putting pressure on Peavy, putting pressure on Frost, whoever was in at quarterback. And so, yeah, those two things alone, if you're controlling the line of scrimmage on both sides, you have a great chance to win a football game, as the Terriers are going to trot out a new quarterback, Peyton Derrick. Seeing his first action today.
He will take the snap and hand it off up the middle and going absolutely nowhere.
That was Ryan Ingram.
On that play, it was Ryan Ingram. Peyton Derrick transferred from App State a couple of years ago, a native out of Conway, South Carolina, a junior 6'2", 200. Threw the ball 16 times last year for 213 yards, couple of touchdowns, couple of interceptions, ran for a couple of touchdowns, and we knew we'd see both quarterbacks. Jimmy Wyrick just did nothing to be taken out of this game. We'll take a quick timeout, be back with more on that storyline when we come back. Just over 2 minutes to go, and Wofford's got the ball at a 17-point lead. Free football for the Terriers at the quarterback position, and Derrick is going to hand off. Reversing field and trying to get a few extra yards down there. I think it was Lovelace. It was Ryan Lovelace with the carry.
Mercer's going to use another timeout.
So that will stop
the clock. They've got them to use, so can't take them with you to Macon and use them in your next game. So use them, see if you can get the ball back and work on your offense again.
Wofford's scheduled to be on the road next weekend at Chattanooga. That game is currently on, although Chattanooga had to postpone today's scheduled game with VMI because of COVID concerns. The next home game for Wofford back here at Gibbs Stadium on Saturday, March 6th, a noon kickoff against ETSU.
Next week, you and I will do the game, if there is one, but it'll be a little different.
Yeah, we've got battling games on the Wofford on the radio and TV networks. We've got football on the road, maybe, at Chattanooga. Big basketball home game against the Furman Paladins. And it is that funny overlap time of year that we haven't really ever seen before, at least not in the spring.
Yeah, it's normally November when we have this.
Here's Derek back to pass. He's looking long into triple coverage, and it's broken up. Looking for Alec Holt. You see what a pretty long ball Peyton Derek throws.
Beautiful pass.
And that's into the wind a little bit.
That long ball was, if you're going to keep calling timeouts, we're going to throw one deep and see if we can sneak one over the top. That's exactly what that was. And I don't blame him. If Mercer's going to call timeout.
That ball was right there, too.
Holt had gotten a step on everybody. Somebody from Mercer got a hand up late.
So Landon Parker, Wofford's new punter. Well, put the foot into that one, and he got a hold of that one pretty well into the wind. Drives the back to the 18, and Miller will get it out across the 25. And Mercer will come out with a minute 49 to go. The Wofford ready to move to 1-0 on the season. Mercer technically will be 0-4 because the fall statistics, the fall games count in the combined 2020-2021 standings. So the Bears will fall to 0-4 and 0-1 in the Southern Conference. Those games, the losses against Jacksonville State, Army, and Abilene Christian will count towards this year's overall standings. Peavy back to throw, looking left. And that one was kind of messed up from the beginning. Pedro Rodriguez was the tight end he was aiming for, but that one wasn't close.
Yeah, he threw that ball very wide.
Always good to stop the clock when on a cold day in the booth and the game pretty much spoken for. It'll be 2nd and 10. Mercer still on their own 28. Clark is the running back. Rodriguez in motion. Peavy rolls out and the blitz comes. He does not get away from it. Believe that was Rhett Russell who got in with the sack.
Sophomore out of Ackworth, Georgia. 6'3", 190.
Russell backed up a very talented linebacking core last year, and he got in a hurry. Just got the shoe tops of Peavy.
Got enough of him to get him to the ground. Another Wofford sack. We said that's what they've been doing. They've been in the backfield all day when Mercer's been trying to throw the ball.
3rd and 16 now. Ball all the way back at the Mercer 16 as we near 1 minute to go in this ball game. And it's a direct snap, was supposed to be, I believe, to Clark, and it didn't work, if indeed it was supposed to go to Nate Kendrick Clark. Hey, Mercer was trying to catch Wofford napping.
Yeah, they got to punt this away now.
It did not work, so watch this.
Nope.
Now, I think that was just a snap that may have hit the center's leg.
Yep, that was not intended.
And bounced right to the running back, so actually a pretty heads-up play by Clark to gather that one in. I think Drew Cronick's saying back to the drawing board after game number 1.
Yeah, some things they're going to work on. I think they thought, hey, let's see where we stack up. Well, it was 31-7 late 4th quarter.
Goupil punting from his own end zone, a low line drive that Van Cleve will fair catch on his 46-yard line. Only 8 seconds to go when Wofford will take a knee and put an end to this one here in Spartanburg.
Yeah, smart of Van Cleve there. It's fair catch it, don't risk injury. Get in the favorite formation of every football coach right now and put a bow on this one.
Wofford 8 seconds away from beating Mercer for the 7th consecutive time since Mercer joined the Southern Conference. Again, the Terriers are the only SoCon team the Bears have not defeated. So they will go ahead and surround Peyton Derek with black jerseys, and that will do it. Your final score from Gibbs Stadium: Wofford 31 and Mercer 14. The Terriers start off this crazy spring season on a roll as Josh Conklin and Drew Cronick get together and have a little word, and two teams will exchange pleasantries. It was all Terriers from the get-go of this one. Wofford came out like a team that was chomping at the bit, and they made Peavy's life very, very tough. Michael Mason had a couple of sacks, a couple of forced fumbles. Urban Mulligan had a huge day on the ground for the Terriers, and Jimmy Wyrick was absolutely perfect, efficient, as Wofford rolled up and down the field. Mercer did manage to score before halftime, but it was too little too late, and Wofford rolls to the win here at home. Tom Henson, some final impressions from this one?
Yeah, you don't know what to expect coming in with the first game of the spring, but I thought Wofford dominated in the trenches today. The offensive line, the defensive line, and when the game counted, they were especially good. And look forward to watching this team grow. Mercer's going to do some good things in this league as well. I like what Cronick's got, but he's got to get his own guys there and to run his stuff. But a great effort by the Wofford Terriers today to get this season opening win.
You saw Jamari Broussard with the touchdown, one of 4 Wofford running backs to notch rushing touchdowns. This has been a presentation of ESPN. All ESPN Plus games are available online on demand on the ESPN app. For Tom Henson, I'm Jim Noble saying so long from Spartanburg. Your final score once again, the Wofford Terriers 31, the Mercer Bears 14.